On this inside line, I'm going to show you a very cool module that's been updated that will help any Jeep Wrangler JL platform, and I'm going to show you how to make the 392 two-wheel drive. All right, let's get to it. Now, before we jump into how to make this thing two-wheel drive, I think it's worth talking about what transfer case all 392s come with, and that is the MP3022. Now, this is the Selec-Trac transfer case, and it's actually used in a handful of different JL platforms. Now, in everything that it's in that's not a 392, it actually has a two-wheel drive option. You have two-wheel drive, 4-high auto, four-wheel drive part-time, neutral, and low. Now in the 392, we're missing that two-wheel drive feature. Now the transfer case is kind of unusual in that it doesn't use a center differential. What it's actually using is a clutch pack and electronic motor to control it. So whenever the computer tells it, hey, we need to be in rear-wheel drive, it sends 100% of that power to the rear wheels. Now, I'm assuming that Jeep knew people would drive these things a bit aggressive, and so they thought, you know what, we should just delete the two-wheel drive option. It'll not only keep the axles alive, and probably keep people safe. And I think they were right, but we'll get to that in a little bit. Today, what I want to show you is how to make this thing two-wheel drive, which it's very easy, but you are going to need a module, and the module that I'm using today is one that I've talked about on the channel in the past, and I'll put a link up right here. It is the Tazer JL Mini, and it comes from Z Automotive, and it plugs right under the dash. Now again, I've done a video showing you how to pair it and everything you need to do to mate it to the vehicle. It's very easy. It's not a complicated install. But what it does is pretty fantastic. And even from when I originally did my video, which has probably been about 1.5 years to now, there are new firmware updates that allow you to do even more things. And I'm going to show you some of those new things today. But first, let's get into how to make the 392 two-wheel drive really easily. Okay, so how to get this thing in two-wheel drive. It is super simple, and there are 3 ways to do it. So first off, let's go ahead and fire the Jeep up. And I'm going to show you the fastest way, which is having it programmed to one of your steering wheel controls. Now, the nice thing about the Tazer, it allows you to have, let's say, quick access key, so you can program 3 different keys. You can go your set plus, set minus, or your resume cruise control. So long as your cruise control is not on, so this is off, I can set one of these buttons to go to one of, like, I think 20 commands. And so if I want to be in two-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive, I'm just going to click that, and boom, that's it. I'm in rear-wheel drive. 392 is officially rear-wheel drive, and I can go drive it every day. If you see the traction control light is on, that's because that's how I normally run it, and the Tazer remembers that. You can have traction control on and still be two-wheel drive. That's not a problem. I just prefer it off, so that's typically how I keep it. Now, that is the fastest, easiest way to have two-wheel drive, so you can get in every morning and do it, and you don't have to think much of it. Another way to do it, I'm going to go ahead and kind of restart so you can see. If you don't want to have one of these quick control keys on, you fire up the vehicle, and you're going to need to let it go ahead and set, and you're going to have to scroll down to your audio menu. All right, now we're in audio. Oh, I'm sorry. Number 7 is audio. You're going to hit your left key here, and you can see it says force rear-wheel drive. It just came on. All right, let's go into live settings. And so you click your cruise control, because that's where this stuff is. And you're going to cruise over until you get to, 1 second. Cruise over until you get, it's coming, force rear-wheel drive. So right now it remembered that that's what I had, so it is force rear-wheel drive on. So just like that. Now if you don't want this to be on anymore, you're going to hit this cruise control cancel feature, and now force rear-wheel drive is off, and you are back just like auto. So if you had not pressed that quick key, you'd have to go through and turn it on and off here. So that's the second way to do it to make it two-wheel drive using the computer. Now, the third way is important for off-roading. So one of the things I really like about the Tazer is when, let's say I'm going to go drive out on the beach, I'm going to put it into four-wheel drive high. So for this, it's going to be four-wheel drive part-time, and I don't want any nannies to bother me while I'm doing that. So I'm going to turn off all the traction control nannies. So, and I'm going to do the same thing if I'm in low-range rock crawling. So now we get a few warning lights here. We've got the brake light on, the ABS light, and this is letting us know that everything's defeated. All of the nannies are gone. Now, what I really like about this that I think was smart from Z Automotive is now, let's say you can be in the screen or out of the screen. It doesn't matter at this point. But I can take this and press this twice, and now I'm complete traction control off, and it's what's called forced all-wheel drive. So I'm 50-50 split for that transfer case, no matter if I'm in high or low range or where this thing sits. It's going to give me that 50-50 split. Now here's something that's novel. Let's say you're in, I don't know, low range and you just want to have rear low, and you know, typically if you have to have a 2-speed transfer case or with levers to be able to do that, something like an Atlas. Well, this thing, you just have to press twice, and you go into forced rear wheel drive in low range or high, it doesn't matter, and you can just have two-wheel drive low in the back. So novel. I don't know how often you would actually use that, but so those are your ways. So you can complete traction control defeated and have it forced rear wheel drive, and you can drive it like that, no problem. Or you can be traction control on and two-wheel drive, and you can do it the fast way, which is programming it to this button or whatever one of these 3 buttons that you want. Or you can go down into the computer. Obviously, the fastest way to do it is just by that, and that's why I like it. Okay, so to program the keys on your steering wheel here, the way you have to do it is have the vehicle off, the key into the run position, or the button to the run position. You're going to hold down the right button here and then pick which key. So let's say I want to change this key. Right now it's on light show 6. If I wanted it light show 7, light show 8, rear camera, traction control kill, line lock, rock crawl, turn assist, which is neat. I already have turn assist set to this one. Turn assist is the, everybody talks about the Ford Broncos got where you can lock up one wheel when you turn and it works like a cutting brake. Well, guess what? Now Jeep has it too, thanks to this Tazer. So you can do winch mode, cool down mode. You can make it where the locker for the rear, this is front and rear locker button, sway bar disconnect, dark mode, which takes all the lights off, forced rear wheel drive, which I already have, or you can have no function if it just makes you nervous having buttons up here. I have this one for light show. I'll just put it on light show 3. The kids think it's neat when I do that. Now, in terms of overall drivability, you really don't notice a huge difference. The steering does feel a little bit lighter, which is nice. I haven't really noticed a big fuel economy increase in this thing. It's not a very fuel efficient vehicle in general, so that's kind of negligible. The big difference with the 392 versus like a regular JL platform is, even though it has that front axle disconnect cast housing, it doesn't actually have the disconnect motor. So even though I'm in forced rear wheel drive, the front drive shaft is still spinning and the front axle is still spinning. And the bummer about that is that when you go to lift one of these things, that means your front drive shaft is always going to be spinning, and I'm going to be really curious if that's going to equate to drivetrain vibration and all that good stuff, because that was an issue that the J case had. And one of the nice things about these platforms is you don't really have that problem. Now I'm going to show you really what is the biggest problem with the Jeep in two-wheel drive, and this is, I'm sure, what everybody wants to know. What happens when you just floor it from a get-go? So let's see. I'm not going to brake boost it. I'm just going to nail it and go. So yeah, it spins the tires pretty darn easily. Yeah, so the difference between that and four-wheel drive, pretty substantial. Now this does have the 456 gears and Extreme Recon package, so that's worth noting. In my opinion, the four-wheel drive feature is a little bit better. Now, I'm going to take this thing out of two-wheel drive, back into the auto setting. Same thing, I'm not going to brake boost it, I'm just going to nail it. Oh, that's silly. Yeah, so pretty big difference there between two-wheel drive and that 4Auto. It still spun the tires and put me back in the seat very, very quickly. But as you can maybe hear or tell, it's way faster to have it in four-wheel drive if you're going to get on this thing. So in that regard, I would say two-wheel drive, cool. You can burn the tires off. Four-wheel drive or auto, much better. And it's still spinning the tires in 4Auto. That's nuts. This thing is so powerful. So yeah, something to keep in mind for, you know, if you're trying to make this thing fast, just making it in two-wheel drive is not going to make it any faster. Now, you may have also noticed I have swapped out the tires and wheels on this Jeep. I'm now running a 35 by 1250 Nitto Ridge Grappler, and it is on a 17 by 9 AEV wheel. I already had this tire and wheel package that I'd pulled off a Gladiator. I wanted to see how this setup would look under here, mostly because this wheel has 5.77 inches of back spacing, which is pretty similar to what comes on this stock. I wanted to see how much it would stick out under the fender flare, and it really doesn't, not any more than the factory tire and wheel package did, so that's really good. I'm really on the fence on if I'm going to stick with a 35 or do I want to move up to a 37. I feel like once you put the 37 on here, it's really going to be hard to not have a 37. The power is just so good on the 35. I don't want to lose any of that. I can tell you, if you're thinking about the differences between a 35 and a 37 in general, there's usually only about a 5-pound difference between going from a 35 to a 37. So, and that's with the same tire category. So if I went from a 35-inch ridge to a 37-inch ridge, it's only about a 5-pound spread. So that's not a huge difference for this. With these 456 gears, it's got a ton of power. I don't think that I would even have to consider re-gearing. If anything, I think with the RPMs on the highway, it would probably help with the fuel economy because it would set them down a little bit lower. So let's check out this newest feature, which is essentially a cutting brake. And so I've got it to quick key. So basically set that, turn the wheel all the way this way, and yep, that's crazy. So yeah, it makes a lot of noise, but yeah, that's pretty effective. Oh, that's funny. I'd love to see how this thing works in somewhere other than the sand. Yeah, so you got to turn the wheel all the way over to keep it engaged. It definitely is a bit aggressive. Oh, that's funny. Probably not a super helpful beach feature, but holy cow, that's a pretty super tight turning radius still. And then you just do like that to turn it back off. Okay, so the big takeaway here, at least for me, is it is awesome that you can plug in a module, not get your hands dirty, and make this thing two-wheel drive. That's fantastic. I really like these small Tazer Minis. I've bought a handful of them for the different JTs and JLs I've owned over the years, and I don't get them for free. I pay full price just like everybody else, and I just think it's a really helpful module to allow for tire size changes, turn off auto stop start. And obviously with the 392, you can make it two-wheel drive. I really like the fact that they give you free firmware updates, so I can take a 1.5 year or older module, go plug it in the computer, and I can get all the latest features that they're just figuring out. Now, if you got any questions for me, please put them in the comments below. If you ever have anything really specific, you can always hit me up at Ollie Mansour Editor on Instagram. And yeah, I got to get back to working. I got some stuff done to my Gladiator. Going to be going to Moab, Utah, and what I feel like is going to be very soon, getting ready to head to Windrock before that. So got a lot of trips planned. Got some more stuff I want to tinker with this thing. So yeah, let's get back to it. Hope everyone's doing well, and hope to see you on the trail soon. All right, take care. Bye-bye.
I've been driving this train, years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame, cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed, all the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah.